Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon to those of you joining in different regions. Welcome to our third session of Bits and Bolts. I've been blessed with electricity again, so I'm here. But yeah, obviously, you know, as we said before, the goal of this session is really just to be as informal as possible. Armaan and myself wanted to take you through some of those things that are, I guess, most regularly asked.
Are we wearing the same shirts?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think. Oh, and no, you are. Bad luck this time.
What are the chances? That was not on purpose.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get Gabby to change these photos anyway. Yeah, we'll do some updates. But yeah, obviously the goal really was just to be able to share some of the more common features and functions that we come across in conversations with partners and customers. And I guess to touch on some of those that are perhaps slightly less known in terms of what we normally share. So in the past, obviously this is, like I said, the first session that Armaan had to do by himself. He covered information specifically around battery compliance and temperature compliance. The second session, we had two topics: the temporary password on SureLock, and also the device information in the title of SureLock. And so there are some links, obviously, that we will share as part of these. But you will notice, again, as you know, we've always said, most of the information that we're going to share is available already in our knowledge base solution. And on our next slide, really, just as a reminder, we obviously have various useful interfaces or areas that are available to you as our partners to be able to interact and to be able to get information. I've touched obviously on the knowledge base, the second one in the list. The first being our 42 years community, and it really is a full community environment. So the possibility to join forums, general developer forums, the possibility to interact with some of our staff, and the ability to get details in terms of release notes for agent updates and SureMDM, well, in fact, any of our applications. So anything that you need very specific or detailed information about, or want to have that interaction with fellow partners or 42 years staff, please feel free to connect on the community. Our academy, you probably would have seen a number of email shots over the last couple of months. It's reasonably new, but it has had a number of courses added. So we are already up to our professional, if I remember correctly. So there's 3 training courses that can be run at any time, and the ability obviously to download certificates and you know, to be able to show within your organization you know, the certifications that you've been able to do. The recordings, so all of these sessions are obviously recorded and are being posted on our 42 Years YouTube channel. You'll find them under the Bits and Bolts section. And then lastly, Cosmos. And if you don't have access to our Cosmos partner portal already, please reach out to one of us or to your account manager. It's really, really helpful and a lot of useful information, and obviously specifically for our partners, the ability to see your ongoing deals and your partner status and various other aspects. And it's growing on I guess almost on a weekly basis. We're seeing new releases and new functions and features included in it. So please, if you haven't already, spend some time going through some of those you know, those topics or those links that we have available for our partner base. So to jump into today's topics, I'm going to be covering the use of jobs and profiles in terms of exporting and importing, and it's available as a plugin. And I'll dig into it a little bit more, and then Armaan is going to touch on specifically, well, I guess we could call it a similar feature within the SureMDM hub environment. And so for those of you who haven't seen it yet, I'm sure that will be really, really interesting. I'm going to jump across to my SureMDM environment. Just again, a reminder, this is the knowledge base linked to, in fact, one of the previous descriptions of this topic that I'm going to touch on, the exporter. Again, you know, we encourage you to have a look in the knowledge base for any of those questions that you potentially would have while you're using our solution. So let's show you. Perhaps up front, just to mention that this specific functionality is available only to our customers that are using our enterprise license. So it's the top level of the 3 tiers that we offer. And you will see specifically the apps plugin function available on the top right-hand side. And this is where we would access those plugins. They're not there by default. So you need to follow the steps that I'm going to show you now: settings, account settings, and then you would scroll all the way to the bottom under your plugins options. You would see the option to be able to manage plugins. And you'll see I've added some of the plugins, but there are a number available in the plugin store. And you have the possibility to be able to scroll through and select and enable any of those that you would choose to use within this environment. I have one enabled that does some renaming, bulk renaming of devices, and then the second being the export and import of jobs. And please make sure that when you add them, you do enable them. You can have them added but not have them enabled, and then they will no longer pop up within your apps plugin section. So if I go now to my apps plugin, you will see the plugins that I have available, and specifically this export and import function. And while it's opening, just to touch, I've been asked about this repeatedly, and I would imagine for those of you who offer support to perhaps a varied number of customers, and potentially maybe you produce or develop your own application and you deploy that across these varied platforms, the ability to be able to create a single job and export that and import it into all other customers' platforms would be really, really helpful. You will see that what I'm displaying at the moment is a snapshot of all of the jobs available within my SureMDM profile. So the list matches. There we go. You'll notice test export and EA test and a calculator, a couple of different jobs that I've been testing with, an exact match. And really, it's as simple as this. I select the one that I want to be able to export. I click on the export button, and it will give us the option to be able to do the possibility of exporting this as a zip file. So you'll see the job has been exported and it's been saved. I have an exported jobs zip file that's already been saved on my device. The idea would be, or the logic would be, that you would now open the second, third, fourth, whatever it might be, in terms of other customers' SureMDM consoles. You would enable a plugin. I would use the same function, so the export and import function. I would browse to import. I'm not going to be able to do it now because the job already exists on my environment, but I would choose import. I would select that exported job zip file that I've selected, and immediately it imports and is available within the job section of your console. So really, really helpful. I've used this a number of times, and it's definitely saved a lot of effort and a lot of time-consuming work, particularly for our partners that are, as I said, deploying the same jobs across varied customers' bases. So quick recap, you obviously need to be able to add to the plugin. You do that through settings and then the plugin manage apps. So settings, account settings, you go down to your plugins, manage plugins, add the store. And again, please a reminder to make sure that it is enabled. It's not enabled by default when you select what you're doing. And then obviously once clicking on the apps plugin, you will see your list of jobs within your console, the one that you're going to use to create these jobs. Click on export, and there you will have your zip file that is available for import into any other customer's console. Again, reminder, enterprise only, at least at this point in time, that's available to our enterprise customers. I think that's it. Sorry, Armaan, off to you. Let me share the screen and pass it over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And I think Stuart puts an interesting point that I was not aware of, you actually brought to my attention, was that we have the environment that you are currently testing this on is actually as a trial account. So if you are saying, yes, oh, I don't always use, or I'm not always, let's say, using a enterprise licensed account, you can still do this while you're in trial and get those jobs over there as well. So I thought that was a pretty nifty hack or workaround, let's say.
For sure, absolutely.
Perfect. So as Stuart mentioned, today we're going to talk about the SureMDM Hub. For those of you which would like to learn more about the SureMDM Hub, there are, of course, hub mentions, how you start, how you make accounts, how you register for accounts. All of this is available in the knowledge base. Just be warned, this specific thing that I'm going to show you today is not yet on the knowledge base. It is something that was released, I think, last week. So the knowledge base article is going to follow very shortly, but we're a little bit ahead of that team. Now, many of you, I hope, already have seen or have interacted with the SureMDM Hub. This is, and Stuart kind of touched on this before, the use cases here really pair well to either a reseller servicing customers or an MSP setting up environments and distributing different types of material, whether it's applications, whether it's files or some type of media, to all the different accounts here. So what you would do is, when you first get the account, there are no accounts, you create accounts, and then to start to distribute jobs, you would come down to account management and global jobs and permissions. What you will then have to do is check this box. You'll go through a few prompts, and then this login button here will open up. Now, why do you need to log into something? Because how this feature works is, after you log in, I've already opened the tab here, you see a, let's say, shortened version of an MDM. What do I mean by shortened? That you don't have all the different features that you do of a regular MDM. Essentially, you only have access to jobs, profiles, app store, and file store. The idea here being, again, any job that I create, I will then be able to add to a different account. So once this is done, before I add an app or before I add a job and I show it to you, let me just show you one other thing which is required. Back in SureMDM Hub, in the Customer Management tab, you have the option anytime you create a new account to check or to deselect the set global jobs and profiles. This would mean that there is a link between the account we made and the account that we are creating now. And similarly, for any account which is already created, you have the option to grant or to revoke this particular global jobs policy. Now, when you have a MDM console, for instance, this is the MDM console I was showing you earlier that was linked. Anytime I want to apply a job, either to one device individually or to a group of devices, following the same workflow, going to apply jobs, you will now see a second or third tab actually here, which is global jobs and profiles, or /profiles. And here you see all of the same jobs that we are seeing here on the SureMDM App Store. It works exactly the same. All you'll have to do is go to jobs, new job, select the operating system. You will see that here almost every function and feature is available, so you can really do anything you want in jobs. However, there are some restrictions, not in jobs, but in profiles. I think many of you are already thinking this, and we're hoping that there was a way to push Play for Work applications or one Google account to all the different devices. Sadly, this is not the case. This is still a restriction. We are not able to grant Play for Work across your entire set of accounts. Fingers crossed one day that comes, but right now it's a limitation by Google APIs. And you'll here notice that some of the things are missing. So you do have almost everything in system settings, but for instance, in application policy, even though you can enable Play Store access, you're going to see that you only have access to SureMDM apps. Web apps may come later. However, right now it's only SureMDM App Store. And once you've created the particular job, or in this case profile, and you save it, coming over to this is the SureMDM console, which is linked. I just hit a quick refresh. You'll see that that Android profile or job is instantly created and will pop right up. Again, the idea being, if you have an application you're distributing to multiple different accounts, this is a very useful tool in order to do that. There's a few other hidden benefits of this tool. For starters, if you are managing your application's app versions, you can do that here as well. So you would, in your SureMDM, update your application, and then that would then automatically be updated in each of the connected or tethered accounts. So you no longer need to individually share the updated application to all your clients. You just need to notify them that there is a new version and that they can start using it right away. Additional benefit here being, you can still schedule different times, so immediate pushes, periodic pushes, or scheduled maintenance updates. So let's say, again, I want to schedule that on every all days at 11:16 my current time, this job gets pushed to all devices. Now this is pretty extreme, but let's say you set it to once a month or once every week. You can then have periodic updates of whatever global things or global jobs are being changed to all of your accounts. The goal here being reducing the amount of manual work you need to do in creating a job, but also maintaining these different jobs or profiles, apps, what may they be afterwards. Now, just keep in mind, if you delink an account, of course, this will be lost, profiles will be removed, and history will be removed. So if you have a history of this job from a global job was being pushed to those devices, that will also break as far as you being able to find or backtrack and figure out what that application is. So just be forewarned and ready for that. I'm sorry, one final thing I did forget to mention. Anytime you do create a new global job or you log in, it will be available in reports. So just keep that in mind too. This is still being logged and tracked, and you can see what's going on and what all is being changed within the SureMDM hub. This is of course stage 1 of the release. There will be additions and let's say further improvements to this feature as time goes on. We look forward to hearing your feedback because the SureMDM hub is still something that we're consistently trying to expand on and make better and better for you.
Armaan, you have a question?
Should we wait till the end or do it now?
I think you can do it now because it's part of the topic. It's for this topic.
Perfect. So if you host different tenants, users in different tenants have cross access to global jobs, correct? So users of different tenants can also add jobs/profiles to global jobs. Means users of other tenants can see and use them. Yes, so that is correct. It is not just users of the SureMDM hub. It will be anybody which has access to the SureMDM. I do believe this is something that in user permissions you can block, however. So you could have a user made in the MDM account and that user will have access, but in user permissions or roles, actually, I'm sorry, you can remove access to global jobs. So you can choose. In some cases, maybe everyone has access. In some cases, maybe not everyone does. Great question. Good. So just a little bit kind of things to follow up on quickly. That was the end of these 2 sessions, but there's always one more reason for you to stay in touch. Stay as long as you can throughout the video and keeping up with us. One reason, of course, is to learn more about what's new in SureMDM and 42 Gears. But the other is, of course, to try to see if you're one of the several lucky to be, of course, you're included in the raffle, but who will win the raffle at the very end. And next week, we will be announcing kind of the leaders of the SureMDM or this competition, let's say the bits and bolts competition. So stay tuned for that. Upcoming dates, just so we're all aware, the next meeting is going to be in 2 weeks, again, in April 23rd. And we have the similar dates for May and June as well. We'll be updating with further dates as we get a little bit closer to June. And as we were on this call, you might have all got a notification and seen that we have just released a new product bulletin. It should be in your inbox now. I think at the very top of the hour, it was actually sent out, but it's a very interesting little bulletin. I recommend that everyone give it a quick glance through, and even if it doesn't make sense to you and what you're doing, it might be worth looking into because it does open up a whole new, I don't want to say world, a lot of these features are here, but a lot of further enhancements to Windows management. And we will be slowly dropping some of these into the bits and bolts sessions as well. But if there's anything here that you see you want to learn more about, reach out to anyone at 42 Gears, your representation, support, and of course, there'll be links, as you can see there, to get more information on our knowledge base and other sources. With that, if there are any other questions, Stuart and I are here to help answer them. While you all are contemplating or submitting your questions, again, some of the resources I mentioned before, you can always reach out to the partner marketing at 42 Gears, Gabby, which you quickly heard earlier, is responsible for, or one of the team members responsible for that. Tech support at 42 Gears. If you need any support with any feature or function that maybe isn't working, like Stuart and me explained it, or you just need more information on anything, there's always a resource available to you 24/7, and of course available through that little chat icon in SureMDM. And I think this is something we recently added. You can also contact Stuart or myself directly via our emails supported there. Great. I don't see any further questions, so if anything comes up, you know how to reach out to us. But thank you all for joining, and cheers. Till next time.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you.